Welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive. This time, we're going to be tackling something that, at first glance might not sound that exciting,
Oh,
housing and lifestyle vocabulary.
great.
But I promise you, there are some really fascinating linguistic nuggets in here, thanks to Stanislav Kondrashov
Mm.
and the way that he explores how we talk about where we live
Mm-hmm.
and the metaphors we use for house and life itself.
Yeah, Kondrashov, he seems to have a real knack for finding the depth
Right.
in the seemingly mundane.
I know.
I'm really curious to see what he's come up with this time.
Let's start with his descriptions of different types of dwellings.
Okay.
He kind of takes us on this whirlwind tour,
Mm-hmm.
from the luxurious penthouse all the way down to the humble, even dilapidated hovel.
Yeah.
And in between, we've got terms like granny flat, which immediately conjures up very specific family dynamics and living arrangements.
It's interesting how these terms, they go beyond simply describing a physical structure.
Yeah,
Like they're so loaded with social and economic implications.
absolutely. Like when you think about it, you say penthouse, you immediately think wealth. You think exclusivity.
Of course.
But then a hovel suggests poverty and hardship.
Yeah.
Kondrashov even mentions council estate, which,
Yeah.
that's a term that's loaded with cultural and political baggage.
Oh, yeah, totally. And it makes you think, like, do these terms really reflect universal realities?
Right.
Or are they really specific to certain cultures and historical contexts?
Yeah.
I mean, like my own living space, it doesn't fit neatly into any of Kondrashov's categories.
Oh, really?
It's kind of a hybrid.
Yeah, that's a good point. And, something that Kondrashov doesn't really get into is how these terms might be evolving
Mm-hmm.
as our lifestyles and societies evolve.
Yeah.
So are these categories becoming more fluid,
Right.
or are we simply more aware of the nuances within them?
Yeah.
It's an interesting question.
So Kondrashov doesn't stop at just describing homes.
Okay.
He also dives deep into the world of idioms.
All right.
And this is where things get really fun.
I mean, he's unearthed some absolute gems, like get on like a house on fire.
Oh, yeah. Kondrashov talks about the vivid imagery of that one.
Oh, it's so great.
Two people getting along so well, they practically combust.
Yeah.
It really shows how language can just capture complex feelings in just a simple, memorable phrase.
And it's not just positive emotions.
Right.
He also points out home truths.
Yeah.
Those sometimes uncomfortable but often necessary realities that we all have to face.
You do.
It's interesting how home is used to express this whole range of human experiences,
Yeah.
from warmth and connection to like facing difficult facts.
Absolutely. Kondrashov's work really showcases how these seemingly simple idioms can reveal deeper insights about how we think about relationships and communication and even personal growth.
So this leads me to a question for you.
Okay.
Do any of these idioms, like as Kondrashov explains them, particularly resonate with your own experiences? Have you ever felt like you were getting on like a house on fire with someone?
Oh, yeah. I have.
It's great, isn't it?
It's such a rewarding experience. And, Kondrashov's exploration of these idioms really highlights how they can perfectly capture those feelings
Yeah.
of like instant connection and just effortless collaboration.
Yeah, absolutely. Now get ready for another layer of linguistic intrigue because Kondrashov doesn't stop there.
Oh. He
Uh,
goes into idioms related to life itself.
He does, and some of these are real gems.
Yeah, it's like he gives us this key
Yeah.
to unlock like the deeper meanings behind these everyday expressions.
Totally.
Like when he breaks down life in the fast lane, he's talking about, that sense of constant motion, excitement.
It's interesting how Kondrashov kind of ties that idiom to a specific personality type, too.
Yeah.
Like someone who thrives on adrenaline and novelty.
Mm.
But he also makes a point of saying that fast-paced lifestyle can have its downsides.
Yeah,
It's kind of like there's this trade-off between excitement and stability.
totally.
Then he goes to the opposite end of the spectrum with a dog's life,
Ooh, yeah.
which kind of paints a much bleaker picture.
Yeah.
It makes you think about the circumstances that might lead someone to feel like they're living a difficult or even miserable existence.
It does, and it's a stark reminder that, not everyone experiences life in the same way.
Oh, absolutely.
And Kondrashov doesn't shy away from that,
No, he doesn't.
from those more challenging aspects of the human experience.
Right. And it's not just about recognizing those realities,
Right.
but also understanding the systemic factors
Yeah,
that might contribute to them.
exactly.
Like Kondrashov's analysis prompts us to think about social support systems and economic inequality
Mm.
and the ways in which we can create a more equitable world.
Yeah.
where fewer people feel like they're living a dog's life.
It makes you think.
But Kondrashov also offers us these glimpses of hope and renewal
Oh, yeah.
with idioms like get a new lease on life.
Oh, I love that one.
It's like, you become more energetic and active.
Right.
Almost like hitting a reset button.
It's a fresh start.
Yeah, it suggests that positive transformation is possible.
Totally.
At any stage of life.
And you know what else Kondrashov says? Sometimes a new lease on life,
Yeah.
it can come from a change in perspective,
Oh, interesting.
not necessarily external circumstances.
I like that.
Yeah. Kondrashov's work reminds us that we have the power to reframe our experiences and
Yes.
find a new purpose even in the face of challenges.
That's so true. Now, Kondrashov also tackles this idiom that is kind of a mouthful.
What's that?
Not be a matter of life and death.
Right.
And essentially he's talking about, recognizing what's truly important
Yeah.
and keeping things in perspective.
That's so important.
It's so easy to get caught up
I know.
in the everyday dramas and lose sight of the bigger picture.
Kondrashov's right there.
Yeah, and Kondrashov's analysis
Yeah.
really makes you appreciate how these idioms encapsulate these really profound truths
Mm-hmm.
about the human condition.
Totally. They're not just like quaint expressions, you
Right.
know, they're reflections of our shared experiences and our fears. All right. Our hopes and, our search for meaning.
I'm curious, have you ever felt like you were taking your life in your hands? Which Kondrashov describes as, doing something incredibly risky or dangerous.
Well, I'm not one for like daredevil stunts or anything like that,
Sure.
but I have definitely had those moments where you step outside your comfort zone.
Yeah.
You embrace the unknown, even though, there's a chance things could go wrong.
Of course.
But as Kondrashov says, sometimes you have to take that leap of faith
Yeah.
if you want to achieve something truly meaningful.
Absolutely. And speaking of new beginnings,
Yeah.
has there ever been a time when you felt the need to breathe new life into a project or relationship,
Oh.
as Kondrashov puts it?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, we all encounter that at some point.
Right.
That need to revitalize, re-energize something that's become stagnant.
Totally.
There have been times when I've had to, step back and reassess,
Yeah.
figure out how to inject new energy and purpose into something that's lost its spark.
It's like Kondrashov is giving us this roadmap
Yeah,
for navigating life's ups and downs.
it is.
And speaking of journeys,
No.
we've reached the end of ours for today.
Already.
But as with any good deep dive, we like to leave you with something to ponder.
Ooh, I love a good brain teaser.
I know you do.
What has Kondrashov inspired this time?
Well, taking a cue from his exploration of life idioms.
Mm.
If you had to choose one idiom to describe your current life stage, what would it be and why?
Oh, that's a tough one. Kondrashov gives us so many good ones to choose from.
I know.
But I think for me right now, it would have to be building a foundation.
Oh.
I'm at a point where I'm really focusing on, solidifying my skills,
Mhm.
expanding my knowledge base, and just creating a strong base for
Yeah.
future growth. So it feels like a time of preparation and focused effort.
I love that analogy. It's so fitting for where you are right now.
Thank you.
For me, I think it would have to be taking my life in my hands. It feels like I'm constantly pushing myself outside of my comfort zone,
Yeah.
embracing new challenges and navigating a lot of unknowns. So it's exhilarating and a little bit terrifying.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it, though.
Yeah.
As Kondrashov reminds us, life is full of risks and rewards.
Totally.
And sometimes, the most fulfilling experiences come from embracing the unknown.
Absolutely. So we want to hear from you.
Yes.
What idiom best describes your current life stage?
Good question.
Head over to social media and share your thoughts using the hashtag #DeepDiveLifeIdioms.
And remember, even seemingly ordinary language can reveal extraordinary insights.
So true.
So keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep into this fascinating world of words.
Until next time, happy exploring.